We are joined by one of the newest members of the Notre Dame women's basketball team, Liatu King, who transferred to Notre Dame, of course, from Pittsburgh this offseason. She was the ACC's most improved player and first team All ACC last year. Thanks for doing this today, Liatu. How are you?
I'm good. And yourself? I can't complain. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I was just looking outside. I don't know about you, but like it looks like we're about to get more rain. That's kind of the thing this last few weeks. It seems like anyway in this area, but I guess things stay green anyway.
Right.
You know, I wanted to ask you first of all. I heard that you played football growing up. Is that right?
That is correct. I did like up until like eighth grade. So up until middle school, I was definitely playing tackle football. Yeah.
Were you? It was okay. So not just like flag
Yeah.
football, but like
Yeah. It
full
was like
blown, like
full
with the
blown
guys kind of
helmet.
football.
Yeah, helmet and shoulder pads, all that stuff. So
Man, so were you into it enough that like if there had been a path to go to college and play football, that would have been something that maybe would
nah.
have interested you?
I probably no, cause I like I said, I stopped in middle school, but I mean,
Okay,
I was pretty decent, but I knew like basketball is what I really wanted to do, and when I got to high school, cause I played multiple sports in middle school just to stay active, stay in shape.
sure.
So kids have so much energy, I'm just letting all my energy out. But once I transitioned into high school, I just kind of stayed with one sport.
Sure. What positions or what positions did you play?
Oh yeah, I played receiver, tight end. I was a kicker, and then I played like linebacker on defense.
Man, a little
I
bit of
was
everything.
yeah, I was in those skilled positions.
I was gonna say, like, that's like no joke football. That's
Yeah,
not just playing around football that you were in
right,
there. So
right.
that's awesome. Like I said, I kind of saw that little nugget. Are you still a big football fan? Do you follow football now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like college football better. Like at Pitt,
Okay.
I was always tuned into their games, and if it's on, I'm always tuned in. I don't have no specific football team if you're gonna ask either. So
Are you at least excited for your first Notre Dame football
yeah, I hear
experience?
they're good. So I want to see that.
I did wonder, like since you're from DC, if you were a Commanders slash Redskins fan growing up or
I
anything like
was
that.
growing up, but it's just hard to be a Commanders fan. But with the new management they got going on, owners stuff, hopefully they're able to turn the franchise around. But as of right now, no, I can't say that I'm a Commanders fan.
I don't have to tell you that I'm a Cowboys fan then. So like
Wow.
I
I
know,
mean,
like
I don't hate you, so
okay. My dad, I actually grew up. He was a Redskins fan growing up,
yeah.
so we had like a little, our own little rivalry there, obviously, all the time. Well, you played for, 4 years at Pitt, and you're in that last class of players who could do like the COVID extra year of eligibility, basically, because you played there for 4 years. So now you're going to get your fifth year this year. Did you did you consider at all, not playing? Did you definitely want to hit the portal? What was that kind of like for you?
Yeah, no, I always wanted to play that extra year.
Okay,
Um, I was at the time I was like, if I can get another degree or certificate or whatever, and still be on scholarship, like why wouldn't I do that? Obviously the opportunity presented itself. I kind of I guess one of the reasons why I hit the portal was because I wanted something different. I went to Pitt for 4 years. I graduated. I did what I intended to do. I got a
sure.
degree, and so you know, like I said, a reason for me hitting the portal was to kind of experience something new, get that change, and here I am.
Well, after watching you average a double double last year, 18.7 points and 10.3 rebounds at Pitt, I mean, I think it was an easy decision for Niele Ivey to want you to be on this team here
Yeah,
at Notre Dame. Why was Notre Dame ultimately the right decision for you?
I mean the coaching staff is amazing. Coach Ivy is amazing. She's a people's person. Even just like I remember watching them play the ACC tournament. in the championship, and just when they won, how excited everyone was just for her. Like her players excited for her, saying that she's a players coach, and that's honestly someone that I wanted to be coached by, like somebody with that type of character who holds um who her players love so much. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
that was one thing, and then with specifically Notre Dame, just the history and everything behind Notre Dame, how I, I wanted to be excuse me, also I wanted to be able to like play in a tournament and have that experience, and just Notre Dame has that resume. And so
What were some of those conversations like when you were talking with Coach Ivey about coming here?
um she talked about, well, she asked me what I was looking for in a school, and I told her I wanted to be able to play down, longer, or play in March. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That exposure. That's something that I said. And we talked big on character. And she talked about how she's big on character. And again, that just goes to show when her players are advocating big for her in post game interviews. So,
Was that experience, obviously being at Pitt, you talked about seeing them in the ACC tournament and winning the ACC championship and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, you had firsthand experience against Notre Dame, obviously, as well, because like you, in that rotation of teams where you would play Notre Dame
right.
twice a year, they'd play Pitt twice a year. Was having that familiarity, was that kind of big for you as well? Just kind of knowing, what the program is all about and kind of seeing that on game day as well.
Um, Not as much as you would think,
Okay.
but I would say a little bit. I mean, yeah, I was familiar with the game, but obviously once you're here, it's way more. Yes, you scout teams and whatnot, but when you get to the actual school and you're breaking it down, it's like there's way more things than what you think it's on the surface. So
Sure.
not really much.
The transfer portal process, I'm curious, like what that was like for you. Was it a stressful process being re-recruited all over again? What was that like once you went into the portal?
Um, yeah, I mean it was definitely a lot. Just being, I guess I was being a player that's highly sought after. A lot of coaches hitting me up, trying to make a pros and cons list, trying to see what I want out of school. Um, that just getting through all that, and this was all around like when I'm about to graduate, so I'm still like in school, trying to figure stuff out and stuff. So it was definitely a process, but I got through it, and I'm grateful. So
You said a pros and cons list. Did you
yeah.
literally like sit down and,
Yeah,
and
I'm a
write down
pros and
pros
cons
and
girl. So
really?
I will sit down and open up a document, Google Docs or whatever, and or even notes, the notes app on my phone, and just sit and make a pros and cons list on, or even before I even get to the pros and cons list, I kind of write down like what I'm looking for in the school, and then what the school has to offer me. You understand? And then once I kind of narrow down, okay, I like this school, I like this school, then I'll kind of get into my pros and cons list.
Well, I mean, you obviously mentioned a few of the pros that that would have worked in Notre Dame's favor between Niele Ivey and culture and stuff like that. But you also mentioned March, the ability to play in March, because that's obviously for as great a season as you had individually last year from a team standpoint, that was lacking. Was that pretty high on the list?
Definitely, definitely, and just knowing Coach Ivy, the experience that she has, she's done it as a player, as an assistant coach. She's made it, far, and as a head coach. So, big pro on my list.
You've been practicing with your new teammates all summer long. What's that been like, kind of getting to be around your new team this summer?
Yeah, it's fun. A lot of potential. A lot of potential. Just playing alongside these people instead of against them. It's fun. Just knowing that we can attack, and we're definitely going. Everybody on the floor is an offensive threat, so that's very exciting, and that's, like I said, it's a lot of potential, and it's going to be exciting to see come fall and winter time.
Well, I mean, the roster, like when you look at it, is just so stacked with you, and you add Liza, Carlin as well. along with the players who are already here, you've got 6 different players who at some point in their career have been first team all conference, including you. It looks, does it feel like almost like an all-star team that you're playing with when
Yeah,
you go
for
to
sure.
practice?
Definitely. And I think the thing that is, I guess, the cherry on the top, the best thing about it is no one's selfish. We all know that, we're capable of scoring, but if we see somebody open in the corner, whatever, it's extra pass. It's no selfishness on this team. And I'm so, like I said, I'm so excited to see how everything works out come winter.
Well, I mean, again, coming from where you came from, you were the best player at Pittsburgh, but you're coming into a situation with, again, with a stacked lineup and a rotation that can literally go 10 deep, like a legit 10 deep. Did that at all, like when you were putting together your pros and cons list, was that at all a negative to you? Like the fact that maybe your numbers, like could be affect, those kind of things.
Yeah, no, because as I well, the way I think about it is that their Notre Dame was really good guard heavy, but I think what they could have added more was forwards like Maddie.
Right.
Maddie's really good, but Maddie, I think I can help. I thought personally I can help this team, and so I didn't look at it as um, my numbers are gonna go down or anything like that. Like I said, like we're everybody's unselfish.
Well, you're 6 feet tall, so you kind of break the mold a little bit of a typical power forward
Yeah,
because of your size. Yet at the same time, you've been one of the best rebounders in the ACC the last 3 years. I mean, we've got to see that up close and personal,
yeah.
just like Niele Ivey has as well. So what makes you such a good rebounder, despite the fact that your dimensions kind of break the mold a little bit?
Um, I guess knowing that I am a little undersized, just attacking the ball, going to get the ball, being aggressive on defense or offense when it comes to boxing out, just doing the little things. My reaction time on getting the ball, I think, is pretty good, and that's how I'm able to grab 10 rebounds a game, 10 plus rebounds a game,
Does
and I
that
think that's going to help this team. It help. That's yeah, like I said, I think it's going to help this team.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, does that football background, does it kind of come into
Maybe
play as
going to
well?
get the ball, going to get the ball in the air or something. Could
But I mean, like I kind of joke about it, but like you said, you played linebacker and stuff like that. It's not like you're one of those out of control players on the floor.
right.
Like it's, to me, it's even more impressive having again watched you up close and seeing the kind of production that you have. It's not like you're just like this whirling dervish out there. Have you ever had to sort of work to have that kind of composure, I guess, or has that always been there for you?
I would say it's always been there. Like I'm calm, cool, and collected. I try not to get too high. Try not to get too low.
You went, again, like you went from 2 years ago, you were averaging what, right around 9.5 points a game, and it bumped up to 18.7 last year. How did you basically double your scoring from one year to the next?
Well, definitely got more touches. Yeah, I got more touches. And I think just overall being more efficient, getting to my spots, being more efficient when I'm open, making open shots. More than my junior year. It's really simple, honestly.
You were talking about like being an unselfish team, with Notre Dame right now, and you've got literally two of the best point guards in the country. Both of them have been All Americans the last couple of years, and in Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. What's that been like, being on the receiving end of passes from those two?
I tell Liv like sometimes, like I'm grateful. Sometimes she is so like good with passing the ball. I'm just you gotta always be ready with Liv. You gotta always be ready. But again, like it's a great thing, having those two guards that can maneuver through defense, that can get you the ball in your sweet spots, and that can just facilitate.
It's funny because when she came in her first year, like I don't think most of her teammates were ready for
Yeah,
that. Like Does it take a little bit just
It,
to
it,
get
it
used to that?
does.
Like you've
You gotta
always
always be watching her. You gotta always be watching her,
right.
ready to just receive the ball.
I'm curious, you have never attempted a three-pointer in your career. Like how do you like especially in today's game, how do you go 4 years and never even, you know, maybe a desperation half court shot or something? How does that
Yeah,
happen?
I don't. I mean, I just honestly, I take what the defense gives me, right? And so my philosophy is if it's not broke, don't fix it. Obviously, I've that's something that I've been working on, just shooting more, uh getting up threes more over the summer. So when opportunity does present itself, I'm ready. But as far as the last couple of years ago, I just always been a great attacker. I My first thought is to get to the rim or get a foul or whatever the case is. So that's just really what that is.
Did anyone ever try to make you a guard at any point in your life?
Um, I was always like the biggest girl coming growing up, and so that's why I kind of am. I think attack first. You understand?
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. For sure. Good shot blocker though as
Yeah.
well.
And so that's where that comes from as well. Just again, like I told you before, just instincts and anticipation. And that's where the rebounding comes from, and just being able to kind of track the ball.
Most Notre Dame fans, they've at least had a chance to see you over the last few years. They haven't had a chance yet to see Kate Koval in person, and I'm curious, kind of your first impressions of her coming in the door, because like every once in a while we'll see some of those practice videos, where you and her are out there together. What have you thought of her so far?
Yeah, she is a really good freshman. She does things that like freshmen doesn't typically do. You can see that she's processing and thinking, and she's learning and applying it as soon as she's learning it. We're working on like concepts, and you can see that she's actually trying. So I think she's going to be a really good addition. Obviously, with her height, she's going to help us with rebounding, deterring shots, and whatnot. So I'm excited for her as well.
But again, kind of going back to what you were talking about, what the team needed with the forward, having you on this team, I think definitely takes some pressure off her as a freshman walking in
Yeah,
the door.
exactly. That too.
Well, you've talked a little bit about being in the tournament, so I'll wrap things up with this. You've played in over 100 games in your college career to this point, none in the NCAA tournament. What's it going to mean to you to get that opportunity next March?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be special, surreal. Something that I've been wishing for, the last four, and so I'm very confident, with this team we'll be able to do it, and when we get there, it isn't the goal isn't just to make the tournament,
Right.
it's to you know go out there and shock the world and do what we do.
Yeah. And I talked to Hannah earlier this summer and said, "What's the goal?" And she said, "National championship." Like and I think that that's pretty legit. Again, when you look at the kind of roster that you guys have put together coming
Right.
into this season, so I think everyone's going to be pretty excited to see you guys take the floor once the season rolls around in November, and a pretty exciting schedule that you're going to get to play against as well.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's going to be fun. All right, Liatu King, grad transfer from Pittsburgh. Excited to see her when she takes the floor. One of three players in the ACC who averaged a double-double last season. We'll all be excited to see some of that rebounding and scoring in action with the Fighting Irish this upcoming season. Liatu, thanks again, and
Thank you for
look
having me.
forward to seeing you.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right.